All right. Well, Sweet Home Alabama. That was a song that came up for me for this full moon in Cancer that I will be talking about this morning on Mercury retrograde. It's really scary filming videos on Mercury retrograde. I'm extremely tired. I definitely pushed my snooze alarm like one time. So, but I'm here and I'm here with my tea. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm an intuitive transformational life coach and astrologist, and I do these videos just to share the knowledge of what astrology is, because most people don't know astrology. They know the mundane astrology that you get from the sun sign horoscopes found in most magazines and newspapers, but astrology is more than your sun. Your sun is like elementary school. So it's about, it'd be like learning how to draw and maybe write a number or a letter. Yeah. So I'd say draw and write maybe one letter, and then you're judging the whole education system on that. So if you just know your sun sign, you're doing yourself a huge disfavor, because that is the part that everyone already sees. If you'd like to dig in deeper and get to know yourself, then you want to look at other things like your moon and your Mercury and any aspects that those are making. So if you do not know how to look up your birth chart, you can go to astro.com and look it up for free. Or you could schedule a reading with me and I could break down your chart for you. And if you're interested in learning after how to read that chart, I offer 3 workshops. So I have all my links below. You can personally message me. And yeah, time to sip my tea. Poo air again. Got to get that caffeine in. All right, so this full moon is happening in the sign of Cancer at 27 degrees. And that is kind of crazy because 2 represents duality, okay? And also it's ruled by the moon. And 7 rules Neptune. It's like a Neptune number. It's a very spiritual number. We rested on the 7th day. And there's 7 days in the week. And so there's a lot that has to do with that. But 2 is about duality and creation. And Cancer naturally rules the mother. And it's a water sign. So it's the mother of humanity because we are made up of mostly water. Cancer is nurturing and loving, and it cares for humanity. It is our emotion and it's our foundation. It is the bottom of the cardinal cross in our astrology chart, and it rules our home. So however we were raised, our foundation, our family, as well as our past lives and our ancestors are all found in this area. So this full moon is a very emotional full moon. If you have a moon in Cancer in your natal birth chart, you will be experiencing a heighten of emotion, a lot of crying, a lot of wanting to go inward and be alone and express your emotion. in a positive way. This is ways of releasing. And as we release, we clear the energy to make room for what is new and that will start to come in. Now, with this full moon, the sun is exactly conjunct by 1 degree of Pluto. Now, Pluto is the planet of Scorpio, and it is that of transformation and the taboo things and the hidden things. We also have a quincunx happening between the moon and Mars. And Mars is in mutable Sagittarius, and the moon is in cardinal water in Cancer. So we have this fire and water. And when you put fire and water together, it boils, okay? And it releases steam. So there is a lot of release that's going to happen because it's going to feel like kind of like a pressure cooker. And the emotion is going to, it's going to start culminating, right? And it's going to feel like a pressure cooker with our emotions. And because there's things that we cannot take action on yet for this emotion to be played out. So let's say, for example, you have all these, let's say you have all these emotions about something, but you can't talk to that person because your phone's broken because of Mercury retrograde. Okay. And so you're trying to get your new phone set up and blah, 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 to try to get to express your emotions to this person. That is just a really stupid example, but it's just what came up in my Mercury retrograde morning mind. So stick with me here. Now, what else do I see in this chart? Looks like Mercury's retrograde, and it is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's conjunct Saturn. So there is a slowdown in communication, big time, but we're also seeing the karma around our partnerships, relationships, and our networks. And we also, we have still going on is the Saturn-Uranus square, which has been happening all of 2021, which is about restrictions and unexpected restrictions and, you know, that kind of stuff. And then we have the node at 0 degrees of Gemini. We're seeing this huge increase in coronavirus because it is the last degrees, and the last degrees or the first degrees, 0 degrees and 29 degrees in astrology is very crucial aspects. And this is, feels like the coronavirus has moved backwards, right? It's like, I feel like it's worse now than it was before, but maybe because this variant is very contagious. So we might be seeing some unexpected restrictions back again, but I don't think they're going to last long because the nodes are going to be changing on the 19th. So, and I'll get back to that. But let's talk about the full moon. The full moon is going to be happening on Monday, January 17th. And let me see what's going on the square. It is a black box day. Martin Luther King. Ooh, that would be fun to look up his birthday real quick, which I think I will. So I'm going to look. Black box. The full moon on the 17th happens on the eve of a rising sense of hope. And by the end of Aquarius on the 19th, benefic cosmic forces are increasingly available to you. So speak up and tell them what you want to know and where you need help. It will arrive. Sweet. So there is a rising sense of hope. We did start off the new year pretty brutal. I'm not going to lie. Venus retrograde has not been very nice to us in our love and our money, but don't be too worried, because after this retrograde season ending on February 3rd, which is a big day in astrology for this beginning of 2020, as we will start moving forward in everything that we've been going inward about. Now, we will be filling into the collective and seeing it for what it is. Now, Pluto being on top of the sun shows truth, okay? And because Cancer is a cardinal water, this is about initiating things. And Cancer people are extremely emotionally assertive, and they project their emotions in a protective and insensitive way sometimes, right? If you know Cancers, like I've been surrounded by Cancers for the last year, so I'm getting to know them very well. And they're in my 12th house. So they are highlighting a lot of my my unconscious, and they know my secrets. They know me very well. Embracing your feelings and sentiment through caring for and nurturing others is the highlight of Cancer full moon. So in my opinion, this is more of like the fifth dimension. Like you get many versions of this. You can see many realities, many lifetimes, many possibilities, and dreams could be in this dimension. So building a foundation of life through warming and nurturing and loving others. So Cancer is, like I said, the mother, and she is the mother of humanity. So redefine the home is, and it's not just like the 3D walls, okay, that are around us like a house, but Cancer is more of the entirety of our lives, like what it entails, who's in our life, what relationships are in our life, who is our family, who is our friends, who do we consider our family that are our friends, who are we around, who are our networks. And that is what the home consists of, because the Cancer carries its home on its back because it has that shell, right? So the wholeness of life consists of all these rooms, right? You have your career, your friends, your family, your creative, inspirational, you have different aspects of yourself. And the question is, in each of these rooms, how illuminated are these rooms? Like you could have great friends, right? But maybe your romantic partnerships are not that great. And maybe you need to change the bulb in that room. Maybe that room is really dim. You can barely even see. Maybe you have a great career and your career is booming, but the light is really dim in your home because you have no one there. Or maybe you have family or children that you never get to see or talk to. So these are all aspects that we will be looking at very intensely because Pluto is conjunct the sun. So we're asking ourselves, do any of these bulbs in the rooms and aspects of our life, which consists of our home, need to be changed? And how can we be a better service to humanity? And seeing it as the foundation, as the role in the foundation to humanity. So with the sun conjunct Pluto, it's eliminating deep emotional attachments. So right now, the sun and Pluto are in Capricorn. And Capricorn is about our career and legacy, but it's also about the structures in our life and our, like, how we organize that in our daily life. So are we attached to certain habits? Are we attached to certain systems and structures that we have created in our life and that are no longer working for us? So maybe there are some things that are coming up that is limiting our potential. And these are the things that we're looking at transforming. And this Pluto is working together to reveal the underlying truths that have been hidden from us, as well as our unconscious has been hidden from us. So we may be getting some dreams, and just pay attention to those dreams. And also, this is it's also the undoing, and it's a time of unearthing and discovery of what may be underneath. With all this downtime that we have been experiencing for 2022 already, it feels like a lifetime. And as I've noticed, as the years have progressed, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, it feels like everything has been speeding up. And I think that's because it is. We're expanding at higher rates. We're ascending and traveling multiple dimensions. And we are getting a lot of information and experiences. Hold on. We're getting experiences and going through many things that are making us stronger. And when we go through experiences a lot, it creates a lot of growth, a lot of maturity, which Saturn always brings, and empathy. And this is what humanity needs right now. We need more empathy, and we need more understanding, flexibility, and an open mind and an open heart to understand and how to live within our differences and still work as a unit. Okay. If everyone's opposing each other, we can't work together. And that is one of the things that one would do in order to have more power over the people. So keep that in mind and stay awake. Okay. When you're watching these news outlets, what are they trying to condition us? What perspective are they giving our eyes? Because in that, it could change the way that we think and believe. So use your own discernment and use your own way. Don't be persuaded in any way. Ask questions and be more of an investigator, especially with this Pluto being a big player in this full moon. So we may be revealed the shadow things and understand what has been getting in the way of our prosperity and doing the best to eliminate that. Now, Venus is trine Uranus. Okay. They're both earth signs. And Capricorn is cardinal earth, and Taurus is fixed earth. Now, Uranus is the awakener, and it's awakening us to what is truly valuable, and how what we consider valuable as far as like worth anything, because money is energy, and so it's really asking us what we want to put our energy towards, and how much of our energy is going towards the things that are not returning its energy to us, if that makes sense. So what is it on the daily that you maybe that are seeing that you want to do in order to create the future that you desire and to have your life simplified more for this coming new 18-month cycle? Now, Saturn and Uranus are square, and they were exactly squared on February 14th of 2021, June 14th of 2021, and December 24th, 2021. And they are also square today. I mean, not today, for this full moon on December 17th. And they are about 3 degrees apart. And whoa, okay, so yeah, the 14th and the 24th. Moon Uranus, Sun Uranus, Those dates are significant in my opinion. Well, February 14th is the love day, and Saturn is in Aquarius, which is the future and humanity and our collective, right? It's our communities, our relationships. And Uranus rules that Aquarius. Yeah, so there's a lot that's happening that's being shifted in the way that we are, what we're feeling, and now what we're seeing. So, like I said, this aspect could bring restricted change or unexpected restrictions. So maybe more isolation and shutdowns. It's best not to force any change, like in our relationships or our life or anything like that. But to adapt to the changes that have already happened and the cards that have been dealt. Like you can't trade in your cards. You have the cards that you're dealt. It's just something we've been working on since 2012. And so how are you going to play what cards that you have dealt yourself? So look at where Saturn and Uranus is in your chart. And this may be the area that you'll be experiencing some frustration. Also, what area of your life that you might not, that might not be working any longer and needs adjustment and changes. Now, I already talked about the North Node being at 0 degrees of Gemini, and 0 degrees is Pluto, which is definitely transforming us through this last degree. Even though it's the first degree, it's the last degree of our North Node transiting before it backs to 29 degrees of Taurus. And the nodes move backwards in the zodiac, so that's why you might have been confused with that, what I just said. But Gemini rules the hands, right? It's duality, and so it also rules the lungs, which is respiratory, right? And so we've been seeing the last 18-month cycle as the North Node has been in Gemini, these respiratory diseases. It also rules short distance travel, and that's what we've been seeing. We've had restrictions on long distance international travel, and we have been staying in our comfort zones around our house and our own communities in the last 18 months. So we're wrapping up these nodes. Thank God. So sick of this, because we had these nodes also in 2001, which was 9/11, which we also had restrictions on travel. Remember all that? You had to get
We still have to get naked. Okay. So we want to make sure that we are doing what we need to not allow this to continue to go on, as we have all been getting COVID now that our bodies are building antibodies to fight the soldiers. Our white blood cells are doing its jobs and remembering, and I've already had it. So I have the antibodies. It's ready to attack. So because everyone's getting it, we're all going to be naturally vaccinated. So we could start moving forward after this big spike. And that's the 0 degrees of Gemini. And we are wrapping things up for this last 18-month cycle. So this is very crucial degrees. This is so, sorry, this Mercury retrograde right now. So we may experience just temporary, isolation or slowdowns individually, obviously, if you have it, you have to isolate, and slowdowns with this retrograde season, like our love and money we already been seeing, and now Mercury, which is retrograde the day that I'm recording it, which is the 14th of January. And now Mercury rules the communication. So we want to be very mindful driving and stuff, and communicating. This full moon is very intense with emotion. So there may be a lot of disputes and a lot of arguing, domestic type violence or arguments or something like that. So you just want to be mindful of that. This will not, sorry, I keep going back to my notes because I'm tired. So thanks for sticking in there with me during this Mercury retrograde. Really wanted to get this video out because this full moon is coming up pretty quick because it's Monday, and it's a very transformational one. It rules, so Cancer rules the Chariot card in the tarot deck. And this applies to like discipline and commitment and willpower to achieve your goals. And it's important to use this time to really figure out what you want to drive forward for this, after this full moon, because it's a culmination. So full moons, it's a culmination. And then once it starts waning, then there's a sense of release and rethinking and considering what we want to manifest for this new moon in Aquarius that will be coming up here soon on the 31st. So now isn't the time to be passive in the hopes that things will work out in your favor. Take focused action once, February 3rd, when the planets all start moving forward, we will be asked to start taking action. So no matter what challenges may come your way, believe. I mean, there will be challenges for this year. There's going to be challenges, and it started off very challenging, and I think that the start off is going to be more challenging really than the rest of the year, but I think that's just subjective because we have been going through so much. It's like, oh God, when are we going to get a break? And so I feel like this North Node entering Taurus is going to give us that break. So I'm going to pull some cards and then I'm going to wrap this up. So yeah, the last full moon, I thought I wrote that down. Yeah, the last full moon was July 9th of 2021. No, I'm sorry, that was the new moon. So what was happening from July of last year to now? Because whatever started in July is now completing. Crazy, right? Crazy how the wheels keep on turning. Actually, I like that song too. Yeah. I want to hear that while I get my cards ready. Man, you know what? I'm just one that always has things coming up in my head. It's like songs and stuff. You know what? I'm not done. I'm sorry, guys. This Mercury retrograde's crazy. But I wanted to give you guys some homework to do. The full moon in Cancer, the energy is dependent and possibly needy. And there are 5 questions that we could be asking ourselves. What have I been insecure and clingy about? Okay. Have I been coming at what I want sideways instead of tackling it head on? Have I been moody and manipulative? Have I been secretive and possibly even a tad paranoid? Have I had enough family time or time with people who are like my family? So the message here is feel sure of yourself. Find a balance between your need to achieve and your need for quality time at home. Forgive is huge for full moon. So write your forgiveness list. Anything that has been happening maybe from July of last year to the 17th of January, 2022, write down a list of everyone that you need to forgive and release it. You could burn it, you could, whatever you want to do with it. And then you want to do a gratitude list and speak on that. I am going to read out of the Inside Degrees because it's interesting. That's why. A woman giving birth to twins. Oh, weird. Okay. Okay. And that's Mercury retrograde too. So this is the 27th degree of Cancer. Moving one way, moving another way at the same time, in the same breath, day in and day out. Inwardly compelled to take hold of given pairs of opposites and to work them by going into both and finding out how and where and why both cannot be refused. Insist on being met. Captivated by your life's predicament. Always seeing contradictory sides that in some way cancel each other out, but also unfolding in multiple directions and truly born with a split karma. You have 2 choices, maybe. Okay, this is always written so weird. You have 2 choices, but to cover all the bases, check everything out and play through each and every side of the situation. Consciously identifying one thing at a time, but subconsciously absorbed in the other thing consistently. Prone to self-sabotage and searching for a lost path through which you could bring the polarities together, serve the whole, and yet be free within the serving and be unattached, just there to let it all come through without making anything a burden or a self-blaming focus. Okay. The charge is removed when the opposites find each other again. And fantasism gives way to the universal good met integrally. Sorry. All right. Well, that was very in-depth. I didn't read it before, so I'm going to have to sit and really think about them because these inside degrees are very deep to me personally. So the archetype, we're going to do the wild unknown, my round diamond cards first. This is for the full moon in Cancer. For the collective. Ooh. The prayer. Yep, we all need prayer for sure right now. Oh my God. Oh, there's a diamond right there. This hand is coming out of the ground and it's reaching for the diamond. But at first it looked like the golden egg, which is in the movie, Ready Player One. Wow. Yeah, we are all striving for that golden egg. And we're trying to break through the soil, the plant, for the seeds that we planted. But like, the soil's hard and we've been trying to break through the surface to really see it through, to kind of get our reinforcements. But there's been so many setbacks and holdbacks in society and in our own lives. But this card is saying to have hope and to focus on the things that we want. And that's going to break through the soil. And keep having integrity and don't settle. Yeah. I'll still read it. The prayer. I wish these were organized better. 195. The worship, reverence, and homage. What is prayer? When are we in a state of prayer? And when are we not? To whom or what do we pray? I don't know. Someone's calling. Where is that coming from? Oh, it's over there. Archetypally, the practice of prayer has been with us since the dawn of time as a remedy for the omnipresent, self-centered thinking that spins us towards illusion. Prayer leads us beyond our ego. As we move from our little story to the big one, some say we are in a state of prayer anytime we are not the center of our own thoughts. Others say prayer is a natural result of gratitude. Perhaps it is simply surrender or service. Whatever prayer is for you, this card reminds us of its importance. For quiet, get quiet, low, humble, and soft. Bow and touch the ground as your heart lifts to the sky. Through it may be uncomfortable. It is time. Nothing else will do. Experiment with the act of bowing down. Nearly all spiritual traditions make a practice of prostration. Every song, kiss, breath, word can become a prayer. It is feeling, not an action. Consider the ancient mantra, Onj Namo Guru Dev Namo. I bow to the creative consciousness within. I bow to the teacher within. Ooh, I like that. So when in light, a prayer is offering to be of service, asking for guidance, which is totally what I said for this full moon in Cancer. And then when in the dark, expecting results. Self aggrandizement, expecting results. Oh, okay. So to go deeper, ask to be of service. So we definitely don't want to be in service and then expect something in return for that service. That's what that's saying. Okay. All right. Now we'll pick from Shadow Fate for this full moon in Cancer reading. Oh, God, I'm so tired. It's Mercury retrograde. Oh, get me so tired. Whoa, whoa. Paradox. Reflect. Universe. So Paradox came out first. So I'm just going to go with that one, but I will show you the cards that did pop out. So here's Paradox, which I will read, and Reflect. Okay, this is a time of reflection with the retrogrades, and the Universe. So we need to reflect on what it is that we want to manifest in our new world. Okay. So Paradox 103. This card is a reminder that we can hold two extremes at the same time. Sometimes we focus on things, whether internal or external, and see them as one-sided. But remember, this is kind of a duality thing with the node, okay? But to hold the paradox within us requires strength. To see our most brilliant qualities and our most ugly, to acknowledge that they're both live within us as a gateway to grow. Carl Jung said, the paradox is one of our most valuable spiritual possessions. And for anyone who does shadow work, they know this is true. But this can also be difficult for many people. If we have been raised in a rigid environment where things are viewed as black and white, it may be hard for us to accept our flaws, let alone love them. One of the best ways to slowly enter a relationship with our internal paradox is to remind ourselves that we do not create these things within us. We inherit them. It does not define us, and yet we are responsible for it. To work more deeply with paradox, you are witness yourself throughout the day. Identify what types of thoughts you are more of, positive or negative. From there, find the polar extreme. For example, maybe you thought, I'm so fucking lazy. Acknowledge a couple things that makes that true. Then find the polar opposite, hardworking, and acknowledge a few things or experiences that prove that you are hardworking. So when I was in my 20s, I was reprogramming my unconscious from, childhood traumas and stuff like that, negative thinking, we learn through our environment. And so anytime that I would say something, I would say the opposite. So, think. So I would think, let's say, I'm so unorganized. And then I would say, I'm so happy and grateful that I'm organized. Or I'm so happy and grateful that I am doing things to make my life more organized. Okay, so instead of thinking the negative, you think the opposite and switch around. So that was a good card. I really like that. I will pull from the mermaid deck because this is a water full moon. This is for the full moon in Cancer. Collective reading. Woo, 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 woo. Okay. Two popped out. The homeland. Arrival journey ends. Accomplish building settled. This is the one I'm going to read. And the water flight. Heaviness lifts. Burdens are cast away and weightless. Oh my God. This is actually. Oh, well, no, it just kind of looks like the front part, right? It is. So this is the artwork for this deck. So maybe I will read both of them. Homeland 44, card 44, and a 14. So that is a 4441. Look at how fancy we are over here. 44. 44 is a really powerful number, I'm telling you. An 8, infinity, transformation. Arrival, a journey ends, establishment, building, settled. There's a time to journey and explore, and there's a time for adventure and uncertainty. There's a time to be a stranger, a foreigner, the one who does not come from that place. And then there's a time to go home. Home is not, as so many of you have taught or thought, a heaven. It is not the space that exists after death. It is the place on this earth, and it is the place of your blood and your bone and where you would swim to now if you had the endurance of our friends and great blue whales. The turtles know their home, that place where they were born. And you humans have several homes. One is the place of your ancestors, the place where your blood comes from. This is so Cancer. We ask you now, where is that home? Do you know where it is? Because if you do not know, it is the time to discover this. The second place is the homeland. That is the place of your birth. Oh, mine's Kelly. The first memories this lifetime, the place where your story began to be told and where you began to shape the being of you today. Memories and lessons and friendships and delight. It may be a time to reconnect with that space and place too, to look back a little, as memories are like water and do well if they are moved and re-remembered, stirred and pondered at some times. That's so the retrogrades too. This card is perfect. The third place is the place where you were reborn and will be reborn again and again this lifetime. That place where that you call, where you came home to your true self, where you noticed that you felt comfort and happiness. It may be a moment, something that seems so very small, but we all have them. These homelands within. And now is the time for a homecoming for you, to know the places, people, thoughts, and stories that have shaped your soul. Know them, come home, visit a while, and know who you are again before your next wander voyage begins. So the deviation for this card is there is wisdom in the homelands. There is a part of you that belongs there and a part of you that needs to reconnect at that deep level. Traditions or ancient practices or simple things like recipes, ways of doing day-to-day activities will come to you now. Incorporate them into your life, and there will be a deep sense of being home wherever that you are, because all the parts of your own self are within you. Acknowledged, known, expressed in healthy ways. Find a place that you can call home, settle somewhere for a time, and make some commitments to the place you belong. You are a part of it, and it is a part of you, and you cannot separate it from it without separating from a part of your own soul and your own deep self. Wow. That was like such a perfect card for this full moon. I will do the water flight. Heaviness lifts, burdens are cast away, and weightlessness. When one of we see beings lies upon the shore, unable to return for hours to the sea, just above the tide line, led there by a sonar and other human follies, we die not so much from the dryness of the air, but from the weight of the world of the air. You see, in the world of water, we are light. We weigh less. The water holds us and suspends us. In the world of the air, we are left to fall to the ground, to remain heavier, and the weight of our bodies, organs, bloods, bones slowly crushes us. Wow, if you even think of that too, it's like if we were like the sea creatures, they all float, they're lighter, they're all one, like Pisces. And being on Earth, we are physically not floating in the same water, right? We're all air, we're all separated by air. And therefore, we need to figure out a way to be one in humanity without being inside the water. We are our own oceans. Each of us have our own oceans within our bodies. We're made up of mostly water. So how can we come together to be one ocean? And air represents communication and our mind. So that is also what I was saying for this reading, is how are we as a humanity, as a collective, work together within our differences. Similarity, if you humans live too much in the world of air without the weightlessness and suspension, the support and the buoyancy of water, you can be crushed, weighed down until that you can barely breathe in anymore. Well, that makes sense. You live so much in the world of air in terms of intellect too. The thought world dominates humans, and you neglect the feeling world, which can sustain, uplift, and support you, allowing you in the realm of emotional imagination to do what your head thinks or what your head says cannot be done, to take flight, to create story, to feel the depth and possibility of your lives, and to wonder. The world of air often crushes the life out of the dreams of the water. Do not let this happen to you. So we all have goals and we all have dreams. And the world is putting a shit ton of pressure on us because there needs to be a sense of control for these governments. And we have been injected with drama, really. And so our job is to navigate this world that is trying to be dominated by a very few. Okay. So how are we going to do that? And how are we going to have self-autonomy? And how are we going to make our dreams come true and continue to support one another? I mean, that's how we do it, right? So the deviation for this card, it is time to allow yourself the freedom to feel and to express those feelings. This will release and let go of some of the weight that you have been feeling that may have actually manifested and physicalize and more weight on your body, a sense of discomfort than moving, less flexibility, and a feeling of being clumsy at times. This re-involvement with your emotions can also be nurtured by allowing tears to fall, connecting with your own inner sea. And if you are a woman, by connecting with the womb. If you are a man, then you may develop a new appreciation for the feminine nature and of your own emotional wisdom. Men and women alike who receive this card may wish to spend more time in healing natural bodies of water. The weight of your form that you experience on land will vanish. And likewise, you will release any worries, your deep sadness, and that sense of being overwhelmed that you are so often experience. The freedom of water can be yours emotionally, physically, and your spirit will take underwater flight. So embrace those feelings, emotions, allow that to release, guys. And yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I made plans. I'm going to the ocean this weekend. Good time to go to the ocean. I'm going on Sunday, and the full moon in Cancer is Monday. So I'll be working with those energies. Excuse me. I'm going to pick one more card from the Flower of Life deck. Full moon. Ooh, super tired. Jesus Lord. Okay. Just flipped over. Light worker. You are a light worker. You are here to inspire and enlighten yourself and others to move from fear into love. This will be present always in all that you do. You don't have to figure out how you are going to do it, for you have always been doing it. As you allow light to illuminate your inner world, embrace and love all parts of you. You feel yourself shift from fear into love. Today, let us give great thanks to Mother Earth for the incredible privilege of being here. Through co-creation, we anchor our streams of consciousness into her for the joy of creating, expanding, and light working. This brings love and growth for all, you and I, Mother Earth, this solar system, galaxies, and the universe and beyond. You are spinning light into the web of life. Wow, that's beautiful. Soulmates and wisdom. Yep, so we got to use our wisdom and our discernment and connect with our soulmates and our soul tribe, because this is the time when we need each other. And, you know, I chose astrology because it is the bridge between the physical and the metaphysical. It's the bridge between art and science. It's the bridge between spirit and religion. It's the bridge that we're looking at, these God-made planets and the intelligence that had created this and how it moves so beautifully. And to know that language is so amazing. Like, I've always gotten these weird downloads, these things from that I don't know where they come from. Like, it wasn't learned here. It was learned from past lives or grabbed from different dimensions. I do believe when I sleep, I travel timelines and dimensions because I have dreams that come true. And I've had it since I was a kid. It's a gift of mine. But to be able to have a form to express myself in what I see for the future, it is like a gift. I feel like I've been given a gift to help me articulate. It's a language to help me articulate the things that I feel like the inner knowing that I feel. And it just helps me. It's like a launching board for me to be able to communicate these things to you guys, because I want to be used as a vessel for God. And this is how God uses me and the universe, because God gives us all gifts. If we all have the same gift, we wouldn't get anything done. So we all need to embrace our God-given gifts and then use them for healing and nurturing humanity, because within that, we heal ourselves. Well, thank you for joining. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing my videos, and make this full moon one of release and hope, because there's so much excitement that's going to be happening for the future to come. All right. Peace out, guys. Your Lucid Living Coach.